asking you, how have you been? It's been a terrible year, but also a little good on the other side. How has it been for you?
I think it's been peaceful. And despite the fact that largely it has been terrible, yes. But, there's been a lot of introspection. There's been a lot of great stuff on the personal front. I think, spending so much time with my husband, family, connecting with people all over the world on video calls who probably, sometimes in your busy life you had lost touch with. So there is also a lot of good. I think this year has taught us a lot as well as human beings. Yeah.
Also, when we discuss, between our friends, we're like the OTT platform and everything online has become so crazy, and it's taken a rocket because such beautiful films and content that we, see around, and one of it being yours, Pepper Chicken on Shimarumi, box office, if I'm not wrong. Tell me, when did you shoot this? When did this happen? Tell me everything.
Okay, so we started shooting Pepper Chicken in 2019. We shot it around February, March. And it was sort of, the team had a dream that, we'll shoot an entirely Hindi language film, a thriller, psychological thriller, but entirely shot in Assam. And the team, like most of the cast, all of the cast, I think, is from Assamese origin, from that region. And a lot of the technicians, a lot of the crew is also from there. Our whole idea, I think, was my company is also co-producing it, Northeast Film Studio. Yes. I think the dream has been that, okay, when we go to Goa, we don't say we don't assume we are shooting a Konkani film. In Goa, Hindi films are shot all the time, right?
Yeah.
And in Bengal, even in Bengal, I think we shoot so much of, Hindi language, content. But when it comes to, say, places like, regions like Northeast or places like Assam, states like Assam, we assume that only Assamese films are shot there, right? And our whole idea was that let's open it up, let's try and make it more mainstream. And Hindi is our national language, and Hindi is ours, Hindi belongs to all of us, It's not just one part. So why can't we shoot a Hindi language film in our region, in our state, in Assam? And that was sort of a dream, and it's a mainstream commercial psychological thriller. It's also my favorite genre. When the director Dipannita Sharma sent me the script, I was so taken in by it, because the characters are very strong. That of my character Vedehi and Balaram's character of Balaram. So Balaram's character of Dashamesh sort of keeps taking the story forward. And it was very interesting that two characters can, sort of catapult a story forward and keep it engaged, right? And keep everyone engaged. So, for me, I think it has been a nice dream that seems to be coming true with its release on Shimarumi. We're looking forward to it, and I hope everyone watches it and lets us know what they think about the film.
Of course, I'm sure everyone's going to watch it because people are so open-eyed with things that are coming online now and all the releases. People are loving to watch different content now. Now, I wanted to ask you, see, being an actor in a film is a complete different story, but now, like you just said, that you co-produced it as well. So tell me, was it a lot of pressure to get things done on time and all of that? Tell me, how was it for you that way?
So I have to say, we are co-producing a Northeast Film Studio. The original producer also is, we call him Zamanda, and Khaliqul Zaman, you'll see his name. He's a very sorted, patient man, and he's from a different business background, and this is probably one of the first, and it is definitely his first Hindi film, project. And I think there was some nervousness from his end, but he's very, very calm. And I think that really helped a lot. I think we being co-producers could bring on the table the fact that we also come from a creative background. We have worked in the Hindi film scenario for a while. So, there were a lot of things. And because largely the rest of the team was from Assam, so I think we sort of became like sort of the connecting, bridge between them and here. But a lot of, I think the calls, all the creative calls were taken by the director. We were not interfering, don't like to be interfering producers. I think as an actor, I think I completely surrendered to the script and to the director. At that time, I'm not a producer. And, and as a co-producer, I think a lot of the work that came for me and my company was after the film, in post, when it came to, taking certain editing decisions. I think those are the places where I think our expertise or our network sort of came into play. And and it was a learning experience for us as well, because this is the first time I think we are stepping into this. This is our first project, and I have always believed in baby steps. So it is definitely a good, strong baby step towards doing better, bigger work, hopefully.
Also, I feel that when it comes to acting, there's a lot of time, lot of investment that goes into an actor's, work, more than a normal job. There's a lot of time that goes into this thing. And also, you guys play a different character altogether for such a long time span.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you get back home, do you usually get confused with who you really are? Do you get those, crises with you, identity?
I always say that as actors, we are nuts. Like, there is one part of us which is completely nutty, and that is good nutty, I think, because we are constantly putting ourselves into situations and pulling ourselves out of it. Like when you pick up a character, you're in it, then you have to pull yourself out of it. Then you go and put yourself in another situation. And every time the emotions are different, the way the characters around you are different, and acting is also reacting. So you're reacting, differently all the time, from one set to another. Like this was like Pepper Chicken. It's a psychological thriller, and when I was watching it later, I had a lot of fun. Where for me and Balaram, and I'm sure there are other characters as well in the film, it is emotionally draining as well. There is so much, like it's a cat and mouse game. You're constantly thinking, okay, you're saying something, but as a character, you're thinking something else because you're always playing a game. These kind of, approaches as an actor. So about coming back home, I usually try and, this, and hopefully I've been successful, not to bring my work home. So, when I, but but acting is a different kind of a profession. It is not, it is not a business, or it is not like how, say, my husband's business is, like he can say, okay, I'm done for the day and I'm going back home. For us, I think some residue of emotions always stay, so I think working on that is a bit of a task. But yes, I think so far so good. I have been able to achieve it, so that that I don't come back home and completely descend upon everyone else, that okay, I've come back home with this emotion or something like that. But there are a lot of times there is overlap, and I think that's part of the profession. It happens. So that's how our profession is.
Right. Also, that today we have this moment to have a conversation with you. So I just thought that I would also ask you a little bit about your relationship with food. So I'm going to have some questions with regards to food. Let me see how honest you be to us. Okay. So let me start off with, there are several diets that I've heard of that have come in trend. I can say there's been blood group diet, there's keto, blah, blah, blah. Is there anything that you opted on, anything that you tried to put on yourself?
No, never.
Really?
I don't know. I've heard about this blood group diet, by the way, because a friend of mine was doing it, and I even rummaged through some of the pages and everything. And I think some blood groups like, oh, you shouldn't be having dal, and some other blood group you shouldn't be having rice. And I'm like, what? I can't do without rice and dal. I'm I'm from Assam. I'm a rice person. I need my rice every
Yeah.
day. Although I switched to brown rice, but yeah, no, I have never. The only thing I try to do is eat everything in moderation, but I eat more or less everything. I'm not fond of spicy food, very spicy food. But I love flavors. I love my mild flavors from Assam, from Northeast, from all across India and the world. So I'm a big foodie. I don't think I can stick to any diet plan ever.
Also, tell me, I've met two kind of people. One who are okay with not having their food on time, and the others go really bonkers when they don't get their food on time. So, which one are you?
The second one, my God, I get hangry. There's a word hangry, right?
Yeah.
That's me. I can't think straight. I lose it. So I have people around me, and when they look at my face, they know, right, that she's hungry, and they're like, okay, don't talk to her right now. First feed her, and then talk to her. Oh, I'm totally that. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Okay, tell me of your favorite restaurant and your favorite cuisine.
See, very difficult question. I have never been able to answer this right, because too many cuisines all over the country and the world. How can I have one favorite? Like, of course, I love my, the whole Masor Tenga fish curry rice from Assam. How can I not love it? I mean, I have grown up eating it, and I miss it actually. In when I'm in Mumbai or Delhi, I miss that flavor. So I'm always insisting when I go back home, my relatives, my mom to make it for me. Apart from that, I think I love my North Indian kali dal and everything. I'm married to a Sikh, is from a man from a Sikh family, so my kali dal and everything is very regular in our food. I love Chinese, and I love Mediterranean, and I love every country I go to, I first try the local cuisine. So that is me. So favorite cuisine is so difficult because as a foodie, I think it's very difficult to pick.
Tell me the weirdest combination that you like of having and others don't.
Oh, weirdest combination.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times I just mix too many things, and people think it's really weird. Like if I'm having, like I know people start with their dal and roti, and then they go into their next, meal, whether it is chicken or fish, and then they have rice and that or whatever. I mix everything. I mix my veggies also, and I mix my maybe fish also, and the dal also, and everything. And I can eat roti and rice together.
Really?
Like I'm having rice, I'm having rice and dal maybe, and I'll take a bite of the roti and have it with a veggie, or maybe a bite of the rice and dal with the roti. I do that all the time.
This is strange. This is strange.
I do that all the time. I think I'm too greedy. I just want to have everything together.
Tell me one of the weirdest thing that you've ever had.
Weirdest. Well, I think for a lot of people it will not be weird because it is part of a cuisine. But I think I was in Seychelles, and there was this lunch spread, like a buffet, and it was my first trip, I think, anywhere abroad, or maybe one of those trips you make when you've just started modeling, so I'd gone there for a shoot, and I didn't realize that what I was taking on my plate, I think, and I had octopus for the first time. So I bit into it. It was very chewy and all of that. And honestly, I didn't enjoy it. I know octopus is a delicacy and everything. But yeah, for me, I think that was probably the weirdest. I bit into it. I realized it's an octopus. And it's more than that. I think I I didn't really enjoy it, so I don't have it now. For me, that was the weirdest.
Also, this would obviously never happen, but hypothetically, just imagine that if you were just told to eat one kind of food for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
What would I make?
What would you pick?
Oh, what would I pick? One kind of food. Oh my God, that's a very scary thought. But I think, yeah, fish and rice is good. Fish curry rice. Yeah, I can have it. I think that is doable for if I have to have it the rest of my life.
Wow. And lastly, what's the first thing that you ever, kind of cooked with your own hands? First thing.
I baked a cake.
Wow, really? How cool.
Yeah, that was the first thing I made. And I, till date, during lockdown, the amount of baking I've done, and I think everyone's done a lot of baking. Everyone. I think the shops were like local grocers were running out of baking powder and all. So, yeah, so the first thing that I was taught by my mom, and I think I was probably in the 8th or the 9th standard, was a cake. Yeah.
I'm also going to do one more segment with you, which is called, Bubble Secrets. But before that, I'll just ask you a couple of serious questions also, because since we're not going to get to do this again and again, I hope we do, but then not every day. So, during the lockdown, I remember a lot of people were making videos on their social media saying that, in Assam, I just saw how much you love Assam. So a lot of people made videos of the floods that's happening there, where, media didn't cover a lot of it. So is there anything that you want to say? Did you feel that, galat hua and logo ko baat karni chahiye thi uske bare mein and all of that?
मुझे तो हर साल ऐसा लगता है actually. I really feel that not enough is being done. But I also see, I am born and brought up in Assam. I'm an Assamia girl, right? So I have been hearing from my parents, even when they were children, when they grew up, my father was donating, I think, to Assam floods since he was a bachelor when we didn't even exist. And even today, we have no solution to it. So I think that is heartbreaking. And the fact that we still don't have enough coverage when every year it's a deluge. Like every year I hear it's worse than the previous year. How is that possible? How does that happen? How have we not been able to figure a way of not losing lives, figure a way of not losing precious homes and, and your belongings? Every year people are losing. So I feel at some level, perhaps, are there people who don't want this to be solved? Because there's a lot of funds that come in for flood relief. And I refuse to believe that it is not possible to figure out alternate housing, not possible to save lives. I refuse to believe that. So there are a lot of questions which are unanswered. And yes, I think wider coverage would really help. And I think it's about time. Way about time for too long, actually. Yeah. I'm very passionate about this and I get very, emotional about it.
I'm glad I asked, because I wanted to know your opinion, and also hoping that, the coming years are not the same and they're better than the previous ones.
Yes, I do hope, because see, we can't stop nature. That is our region is such that we are going to have heavy rains and we are going to get the flooding and all of that. But I think what we can control is damage to property, loss of lives. I think that we can definitely have a solution to that. Better prep, but we can be better prepared.
Yeah, correctly said. Okay, one more question. That this one comes from the editorial department, and they told me please ask her. I said okay, fine. So I will. Milind Soman, being very good friend of yours, is breaking the internet with pictures back and forth. Is there anything that you want to say on that?
Is he breaking the internet? I have been shooting. I wished him on his birthday and he wished me on mine, because our birthdays are very close. I am on the 2nd of November. He's on the 4th. Okay. So he wished me, his wife wished me. I wished him on 4th, and I have been so busy shooting. He's always breaking the internet. What has he put now?
There's a nice chiseled full picture of him running on the beach, and I'm like, oh my.
that he's going to forever do. Like, I remember when we were all in Bandra, he would come and we would be like, how did you come from Mahim? Oh, I ran. He would just run from Mahim. He wouldn't even sit in a taxi, or he wouldn't even like bring his car. He will just run to Bandra. It was just as easy as that. So I'm not even surprised. And I hope he continues. It's wonderful. And I hope he continues to do what he is doing and inspire people.
Oh. Also, now jumping to Bubble Secrets. Now, this is a set of fun questions, nothing controversial. Let me see how you answer these, okay? My first one would be, have you ever made fake accounts on social media to stalk somebody?
No, thankfully not. I have stalked people as myself only. I don't have to like pictures and all. I can stalk people. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, have you ever licked the food plate after having your favorite food?
Yeah, as a kid I have. As a kid, not as an adult. But as an adult, I do this, I think. All this I have done. Yeah.
So cute.
With fingers, yeah.
Okay, tell me, is there anything that you started to do and couldn't complete and now you kind of regret?
And couldn't complete.
Yeah.
I am formally trained in Hindustani classical.
Wow.
So I did my, there are exams. There is Prathama, Madhyama and Visharad part 1 and part 2, right? So when you finish your part 2, you're a complete graduate in music, basically. I couldn't do my Visharad part 2, and that I do because I left for college from Assam. I went to study in Delhi University, and then I couldn't pursue it. And that is one thing I do regret. And I don't know, I hope I can complete it someday. So I would have been, I'm almost a graduate in music, but not by 1 year.
We hope so too, that you complete it and then we could hear you sing and all of that. Wow.
Oh, by the way, I sing all the time and I keep uploading on my Instagram and all once in a while. Yeah, I sing all the time.
तो ये मौका मैं नहीं जाने दूंगी, एक लाइन सुना दो आपके फेवरेट गाने का.
क्या सुनाऊं अभी मैं?
कोई भी.
एक एक्चुअली ना पेपर चिकन में बहुत ही सुंदर गाना है, पर मैं ना एक मतलब जो they are going to promote also, वो पापन ने गाया है, और मैं ना I'm not going to dare to sing that because I want to first, I want the first promo to come out of that song properly. So I will sing a song from one of my films earlier. Suddenly in recent times, they had released the song again, re-released it. So I'll sing it one line for you. Yeah. सीने में दिल में धड़कन में क्या है, तेरी प्यास है, हर सांस में दर्द है सनम, ये दर्द तेरा एहसास है.
Wow, you beautiful with this. Wow. This is for all the audiences who are going to be watching this video.
Thank you.
But really, you don't need instruments. You kind of figured out how people sound like this, and wow.
Thank you.
Also, tell me now it's been like 8 long months, plus 8, I think 9 months now that, we are living in a pandemic. So tell me, is there any one single thing that has changed your thought process for something or the other?
I think more than ever before, I feel that we need kindness and compassion today. And I feel this has always been a topic of discussion. It is not something that people don't know, but somehow these 8 months have taught us so much and told us, me personally, and everyone else, when I look around, that kindness and compassion should be foremost. Really, there's nothing else, because one fine day the world shuts down and you're in your house. Everything else just becomes immaterial. You can't go to work. You can't meet people. You can't. It's like the nature is such a leveler. it levels everyone. And at that time, what is most important? What else is there if you don't have compassion and kindness for each other? A pandemic has made the world one. I mean, it should have happened much before. But look at this, a pandemic has brought the world together in a certain way. Isn't this a sign? I think that's all we need to be, that accept each other, be kind to each other, and be compassionate.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, lastly, without taking a lot of your time, pepper chicken के लिए क्या बोलना चाहते हो सारे fans को to pull them to watch it? Because I'm gonna definitely grab a bowl of pepper chicken and watch pepper chicken.
Yummy. Please do that. And I can't wait to hear what you think as well, of the film. Very special film for the team. Also, when you're making an independent film, a film which you are just passionate about and you want to put it out there and it's finally happening. It's quite a moment for all of us. Pepper chicken बहुत मसालेदार है, जैसा नाम है वैसा ही है. And as unique as the name is, I also feel the plot is as unique because the twists and turns will keep you at the edge of your seat, and I do hope that. And thriller is a genre I think audiences enjoy. Yeah. And I'm sure I myself am a big thriller fan. So, and I am sure all of you would enjoy watching this and do give us your feedback. हमें बहुत मजा आया ये film बनाने में, and I do hope उतना ही मजा आप लोगों को आएगा, and you all will give us great feedback.
Definitely watching it and definitely reviewing it, and I'm sure I'm gonna love it because you already have such a beautiful vibe. I'm sure your work is gonna be as beautiful. So
thank you. And we have some wonderful actors in the film as well. Everyone else, you have to see what amazing performers we got together, and I thought and the director and even from the technical side, I think you will like the film.
Wow.
And it's beautiful, Assam. It's shot in the beautiful jungles of Assam, in Chandubi jungles, and it is something that you haven't seen in the national media before,
Wow. So I'm definitely can't wait to sit in front of the screens and watching it. And I'm definitely telling Ananya about it so that she could tell you how I found it. Yeah.
Please. Yes, absolutely.
And on that note, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining with us and having a word with us. I really love this conversation.
Thank you so much. I truly enjoyed it as well. And please, I would love to see the entire thing as well. Yeah.
Definitely. I'll send the link to Ananya. Hanji.
Please do. I will take a look and send me some nice screenshots as well. I hope Ananya's taken some.
Definitely.
Send me your tags also. I will tag you once.
Super cool. That's so cute of you. Thank you. And see you.
Lots of love, darling. See you. Bye-bye. Bye.